Hey, what's up, guys? Anton Kraly here, and welcome back to the eCommerce Lifestyle Podcast. So before we get into today's episode, I just want to give everybody a heads up, kind of let you know what my plan is for the format with this show. You know, I was looking back, and we're almost at 200 episodes. That's wild. And the reason that's so wild is because if you go back and you listen to some of the first episodes of the show, in fact, probably close to the first 50, maybe even 100. They are basically me just grabbing my cell phone, driving to our office that we had back out in Austin, Texas. And on the way there, I would just, record a quick message about something that is going on either in that day or that week or that month in our businesses. Try to just share how that could hopefully benefit you, give you an update on what's going on. Then I would get to work. I would turn the phone off. The episode would automatically get uploaded. And that would be it, right? So did that again for probably close to a year. From there, I was living in Manhattan for a few months. And while I was there, same thing. When I wanted to record an episode, when I had something to share, I would pull out my phone. I would be on a walk, be out in the park and record a quick message, click a button, send it out to everybody. After that, we kind of got a little bit more formal with the podcast. So I started doing interviews. And just so you know, that was never I never intended eCommerce Lifestyle to be an interview show. Really, it was just because I know that a lot of our community has really interesting stories to share. And I just wanted to, mix it in and see how it worked. And it worked great. Those episodes have a ton of listens, but just the whole scheduling thing and having to commit to certain times, it gets away from the reason I do podcasts, which for me is the ease, right? Got something to share, boom, get it shared, no editing, click a button, it's up there. You guys can get the message, hopefully get value. But that actually led into, I guess, the most recent iteration of the podcast and how it's been for probably a few months now, which is where we consistently do 2 episodes every week. Those episodes go out every Monday and every Thursday. And those episodes are always based around specific topics that I kind of, think about in advance. Okay, what should I talk about in this video or this podcast? So not that that's not valuable, but it, for me personally, takes away from the whole point of the podcast, which again is if something quickly pops up that I want to share with you, I want to be able to quickly get that message out. If anybody has a question where I think the answer would benefit you and the community as a whole, I want to quickly be able to record that answer, send it out to the world. So I guess that's a long roundabout way of saying where eCommerce Lifestyle came from, where it has been, and where it's going now. So for the podcast moving forward, the release schedule is still going to be the same. We're still doing every Monday and every Thursday. But the episodes now are not going to be me thinking of what topics should I talk about and trying to have this whole thing planned out. It's going to be, you guys ask questions. If I think the answer benefits everybody, I record it. A couple other things I want to address before I answer today's question. That is that those videos that are more thought out and those types of trainings, obviously the majority of them that live sequentially are in our online courses, but the other ones are going to still be on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle. So don't worry, none of that is going anywhere anytime soon. And then the final point I'll make before we get into this is that with eCommerce Lifestyle, even though when we do video podcasts, we put them on the main YouTube channel we have, the goal with eCommerce Lifestyle really is to help people that already have businesses to be able to increase their revenue, be able to automate their operations, and be able to come number one in their niche. Whereas with all of the content you see on Dropship Lifestyle, that's really designed to take people from 0 to 1. Right? Meaning you don't have a business yet, or you do and it just doesn't work at all, and you want a simple step-by-step system you could follow that will help you build a highly profitable semi-automated store. So if that's you, again, you definitely want to be sure you're subscribed at youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle. Also, be sure to check out dropshipwebinar.com. But again, moving forward, the eCommerce Lifestyle podcast and the videos we put out specifically are going to be centered around topics that more so help people to grow their business rather than just get started. So with that being said, guys, I hope that makes sense too. And I hope that you're on board with this. Honestly, when the podcasts were more spontaneous versus now. The listens were about the same, which are great either way, but I don't think you're going to care. So hopefully you don't. Hopefully you still get value from these and keep tuning in. But with that being said, let me pull up a question that I wanted to answer today. And this actually came from a live stream that I was hosting the other day. It was one of the questions that came in the chat roll, and something I think I should address for people that are building stores or trying to grow their stores. So this was from Angelique Fernland, and she says, local suppliers cost more. Product selling price is higher. This translates to higher costs to the buyer. How do you overcome higher selling prices to customers? So this is a question I get a lot from people that are already running e-commerce stores that are either drop shipping from China or manufacturing or private labeling. They hear me talking about building e-commerce businesses that are working with these domestic suppliers where the prices are more, right? But the prices aren't more because the products are made in America or made in the UK if that's where you're doing business, or made in Australia if that's where you're doing business. What I mean when I say work with domestic suppliers is that the brands that you're selling for, right? Those brands are going to be based in the country where you are based, but that does not automatically mean that the products that they make, the products that have their name on it, are going to be manufactured in whatever your country is. So for example, if I sold surfboards for 20 different brands in the US, in the States, most likely 18 out of those 20 are having those products manufactured somewhere else, whether that be in China or in India or anywhere in the world, but they are having their brand name on it. They're having them stored locally in US warehouses so that when we sell them, they can be shipped fast. So again, when I'm saying sell more expensive products, when I'm saying sell for domestic brands, that does not mean everything is made in America or again, made in the UK or made in Australia. So you don't have to worry about instantly having this sudden price hike and products being more expensive. Now, with that being said, there will be those situations where you find these domestic brands that actually make products in the States or again in your country. And when that happens, the cost typically is slightly higher, but it is worth it because with those brands, you can advertise made in America, and the customer type, the buyer avatar for that specific product from that specific brand, if they really care that I want my product made in America, then guess what? They're going to be willing to pay a premium. So the answer there is if you're already running a business, right? You're selling these less expensive products and you're afraid to sell for domestic suppliers because the price is more money. Again, that's something that's in your head. It's not a real thing, because the way this is going to work is as you get approved with suppliers, most of your pricing is going to be, just low, because you're going to be selling for brands that have their products made overseas. And when you do come across those brands that have their products made in America, again, the price might be a little bit more, but the customers that are shopping for those products are willing to pay a little bit more. And if they're not, they'll just buy from one of the other brands that you have on your store. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that answers your question. And again, what I'm going to do, guys, for future episodes is pull questions off social. But if you have anything that you want to make sure gets to me for a future episode, be sure to go to eCommerceLifestyle.com and then click on contact. And there's a form there where you could submit your questions. They come straight through and I can answer them in a future episode if, again, they'll benefit the whole community. So as always, guys, appreciate you. Hope you got value from this episode of the podcast. If you did, please do leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. I'll post a link in the description. It really helps us out. And with that being said, I will talk to you in the next episode. See ya. Hey, what's up, guys? Anton here again, and I hope you got some real value out of that video you just watched. If you did, you should definitely check out this one or this video right here. I do 2 new ones every week. You'll see a subscribe button right here. And if you want my free training that is 2.5 hours long of value with 237 niches, click this button right down here. It'll take you to where you need to go.